I'd like to invite Tim Armstrong, the CEO of AOL, on stage. Tim just flew out last night to come up and meet with us. Tim?
Mike, how you doing?
Have a seat. Thank you. So, Tim, there were these rumors flying yesterday, and what we just want to know from you, from the source, is did you buy Brizzly or not?
Well, I know the Brizzly guys really well. I used to work with a bunch of them, and I think they're a great company, but I don't have any comment at this point.
You flew all the way out here not to comment on this at all?
Actually, I flew out here for a different reason, which is I've been a big fan of TechCrunch. I've been to many of the events over the years.
I'm also a big fan, yeah.
Are you a fan of TechCrunch?
Love it.
You should be. Big fan of your team, of Heather's, and I flew out here because actually the company I'm most interested in is TechCrunch. And I would love it if you let me partner with TechCrunch, with AOL, and see if we can build a very substantial company together.
I remember we first started talking about an acquisition at New York at Disrupt there. You had gone off stage, we had just spoken, and we went into a back room, sort of the speaker room, and you said, hey, so just how are things going in general? You enjoying yourself? And I said, and I'm so tired. I've moved to Seattle. I'm basically half retired. And you said, oh, it's too bad because we'd really like to buy you, but you'd have to stick around. And I think without even a pause, I said, everything's great. It's like I love everything about this job. I'm
Seattle
excited.
Didn't look so good at that point.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think the second thing though is, Mike, the second time we spoke in New York, when we're doing acquisitions at AOL, there's three things that we look at. One is, the financial attributes of the acquisition and whether or not it makes sense for you and for us. But personally, I have two things I ask every entrepreneur that I meet with. One is you have to be twice as passionate about the space you're in than anybody on our management team is. And two is you have to stick around.
Yeah.
So if we're going to consummate a transaction between us, you have to give me a yes to those two answers.
So yes is the answer.
Good answer.
I know that we've been rushed. This wasn't supposed to happen today. This is supposed to happen later, and we were going to focus on the companies here. And then Malik, my sort of nemesis, screwed everything up yesterday. So we had to rush through this, and I know we haven't really had time to deal with the agreement. I'm just going to recommend we use the Bebo agreement and all the terms and just sort of to speed things up. Is that something that works for you?
Probably less me than you, I think.
Well, so there's a little bit corny, but we're going to sign this on stage if you're okay with that. And I need my lawyer, Lior, to come out, and also Heather, our CEO, who's going to sign, if they could come out as well, just have a seat. So TechCrunch is also all about the readers and the audience, and I'm going to flat out ask you guys, what you think and if we should do this. And if you say no,
no, I have to give my sales pitch first.
And Tim's going to give a short sales pitch with plenty of forward-looking statements. And then if you say no, I'm going to do what Robert Scoble said. I'm going to rip this up dramatically and we're going to have Tim thrown out by security. If you say yes, we're going to go ahead and sign it. So do you have any? You just don't even want to be up here anymore, do you?
This was a long flight, no sleep for Mike Arrington.
All right, so if we should sign this deal, say yay. Yay. Great. And if you think we shouldn't, say absolutely not. I think that was clear. I think
it was 60-40 plus.
That was clear. I think it was unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous.
That we're going to do this deal, and the voters, the readers of TechCrunch have voted. So do you want me to sign first, or do you sign first, or?
I'd love to have you sign first, so there's no
Heather?
no ambiguity.
Heather should sign.
Heather.
So I don't know, the cameras can't really see this, but this is actually the merger agreement, which I hope Heather at least has read. Wow, I just signed something selling my company.
All right, Tim?
So I will show you it's the real agreement. I don't know if you can see that or not, but congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And
we have We have, and by the way, no one seemed to notice yesterday when Lior, our attorney, was pulled off stage sort of dramatically to deal with an issue. It's kind of funny. We thought the investigative journalists in the audience would be better at that. But are there any questions? We're going to take 5 minutes or so, and then Tim has to fly right back to New York. So if you have questions, do we have microphones, or are we just yelling questions out? There are stand mics, right here. Yeah, right here in the middle. So just walk up to these mics and we can take 2 or 3 questions. We're not going to be disclosing the terms of the deal, but we are happy to talk about what this means for TechCrunch moving forward. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, Tim, could you hit post here? You're actually writing a guest post for us.
My first TechCrunch post.
Just hit the publish button.
That's right.
So you just want to mouse over and hit the publish button right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No problem.
You didn't read that, did you?
Now I'm reading it as it's posting. Never a good idea with you, Mike, but it's perfect.
That's what I like to hear in my
good,
new
right?
boss. Yeah, no.
Tim, you
So,
can publish it.
All right, thank you. I just want to say one thing before the first question is I wanted to, first of all, thank these guys and Mike's entire team. I think AOL is really dedicated to building future brands and content, and TechCrunch is something that we've been interested in for a long time period, purely due to the work here. I think, too, is since TechCrunch represents entrepreneurial spirit, I think we want these guys to run as entrepreneurs and give them more capital and more resources, and I'm very proud of what they accomplished. And 3 is this deal came together because of the entrepreneurial network, and Ron Conway, other people in this room were influential in putting us together, and I think that I grew up kind of in Silicon Valley in the New York split, and this is a big day for AOL, and I'm really happy for entrepreneurs who get a great outcome, I hope, and even a bigger outcome in the future with us. So,
question?
What does this mean for competing properties that AOL already has? So like in Gadget and Crunch Gear, are you going to be merging with some of the existing content on AOL, or are you going to continue as independent brands?
I think I think they're going to be shutting all of those down and focusing entirely on TechCrunch for now.
You know who's in charge now. No, but we talked a lot about this as we went through the deal, and I think there's, one is we have, Engadget is a great property, and we have other tech properties that are great properties. When I talked to Mike, one of the things that I think both of us felt, and Heather, is there's an opportunity to have a much larger tech presence as a whole, and I would expect these brands to operate independently but leverage each other when there's an opportunity. And 2 is for our audience, there's a great opportunity to put TechCrunch content in front of a wider group of AOL people and on networks and things like that. So I would expect us to build a more significant tech content business overall, as TechCrunch is one of the pillars, and 2 is immediately try to get as much TechCrunch content to a wider audience as possible.
One more?
Just wondering if this has anything to do with getting back at Yahoo's CEO, and if you'd like to address anything back to her regarding the F-off for your small company.
Yeah, amazingly, I've decided to sell my company to AOL to get back at the CEO of Yahoo. And Tim likewise was upset with her for various reasons, and we thought this would be a great way to do that. Yeah. I work for a public company now. We can't really just say anything we want, but that was sarcasm. Can I still say whatever I want? I mean, that's part of the deal, right? That I can do whatever
we want you
I
to say whatever you've done so far that you've made you successful. So we will try to be as hands-off as possible.
To your credit, you guys as a group have said that one of the examples we used was the Twitter documents, where I posted the Twitter documents that were clearly obtained illegally, and then we obtained it. And I said, what if that happens with AOL? Not that it's likely, but if somebody hacks into AOL, illegally obtains documents, and hands them to us, I will post them. And then what happens? And the agreements have been crafted in a way that gives us complete editorial freedom to do that, and I really appreciate that we have absolutely no editorial bounds at all.
It's important.
Yeah. Also, the team is staying. TechCrunch is remaining an operating subsidiary. And I have a funny idea that I'll be with AOL at least for 3 years, based on a variety of incentives. So. Any other questions? I think we can take them backstage with press. Thank you. I'm sorry for the distraction. I really am. I want to start focusing right back on the Disrupt companies and the great panels. We have Eric Schmidt. We have Mike Moritz. We've got the mayor all up in the next hour. and we just got some great content. So thanks very much for bearing with us, and thank you so much for being here and being part of this.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Mike. Congratulations.
It all starts off so well.